Hello and welcome to the Eugene Torta YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody that's subscribed so far, and if you haven't, go down there, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. And no work today. Snowstorm's hitting, so we're supposed to get up to 18 inches. As you can see, we already got quite a bit, and it's coming down. So inside the house where it's nice and warm and cozy, and the cat's over here wanting to play. Say hello, cat. You gonna say hello? No? Yeah, you just want to play, don't you? Yeah. Well, we're not gonna play. I got things to do. Anyway, the thing I'm gonna go over today is the most overlooked lubrication point on your C4 Corvette. And to show you that, I am going to go onto the computer, and we'll jump onto there via screen recording and all that good stuff, and I'll try and show you what I'm talking about. So, there we go. Okay, here we are on the computer. We are in the lubrication and maintenance section of the factory service manual for a 90 Corvette. And as far as I know, on all C4 Corvettes, the only grease fittings or lubrication points on the front of the suspension are the ball joints and tie rods. And it tells you how to go on there. Make sure you wipe your fittings before lubricating the joint. Ball joints should not be lubricated unless their temperature is 10 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 12 degrees centigrade. That's interesting. I never knew that, but of course it shows the diaphragm of the points, and basically the only thing it shows is the steering tie rods and the ball joints. And it says to get it warmed up to at least 10 degrees when you do it, and wipe off all the excess grease. Now it doesn't say anything, and let me jump to that page there. Hopefully I'll do this right. 3C-12, enter, and this right here, hope you guys are seeing this, the spring pad. Now it does say it in the front suspension section, and I'll jump to that section, which is 3C-11, or actually it should be just back a page. There we go. And you can see it right here, or hopefully you guys can see that. Lubricate spring pad using appropriate lubricant. Nowhere can I find that it says what the appropriate lubricant is. So we'll jump to another section of the factory service manual. Come on. There we go. And recommended fluids and lubrications. Now it gives accelerator pedal pad and cable, low temperature grease, chassis lubrication, chassis grease requirements GM 6031M, and it gives two other equivalents. It gives engine coolant, engine oil. It also goes on about hood door and hinges, headlight door, assembly, fuel door hinge, hatchback lid hinge, and linkage. It says to use engine oil, hood latch pivots, and spring anchor engine oil. Hood release pole, use grease meeting requirements GM 6031M. Hydraulic brake fluid, clutch fluid, key cylinders, that's an interesting one. Lubricate with multi-purpose lubricant, GM part number 12345120, or synthetic SA5W30 engine oil. That's interesting. And it goes on with the power mast, power steering, rear axle, underbody contact points, chassis grease meeting requirements at GM 6031M. Since it lists that for both the suspension and other lubrication points, chassis lubrication, I'm assuming that it's GM 6031M, which is basically, if you look it up on Google, is basically grease, the type of grease that you use to grease your suspension. I prefer to use a good synthetic grease, but You definitely want to lubricate that pad. Same time, whenever you grease your front suspension, I believe you should grease that pad. And the reason is, and I am going to take you down the basement and show you my original leaf spring that came off my 90 C4 Corvette. Okay, here we are in my basement, and this is the front spring off a 90 C4 Corvette. It's inverted. Normally it's mounted in the car like that. I'm gonna pull it over here. And when it's in the car, this pad here rests against the lower control arm, the top of it. And as the arm goes up and down, the spring pushes down on it. Hopefully you guys understand that. And this part of the pad pushes down on the arm, and as this spring moves up and down, the length changes. You know, as it comes up, it's going to want to push out more, and as it comes down, it's going to be where it is right now. Now, this pad here needs to be lubricated, and it makes it slide on that arm easier, and also prevents corrosion. Now you can see the corrosion that's embedded into the rubber here. When I rebuilt the front suspension, this part of the aluminum control arm was all, of course, had all that white powdery dust from the aluminum oxide dust from it corroding in that area. It wasn't real bad. It was pitted and so forth. So that's a good reason to lubricate it, to keep it from corroding. And it also makes this pad slide back and forth easier. You will, if this has never been done before, I guarantee you will notice a difference in your ride. At least I did, in the ride quality of the C4. I mean, it ain't a massive improvement, but it is a noticeable improvement. And it definitely should be done. Even if it doesn't improve the ride, it will help keep your control arm from corroding. And on later C4s, they use like a round puck pad, I believe. And that's a little bit different design. That's probably made just for that reason, so it slides easier. And I believe when they came out with the C5s, they went to that design too. So that's something to keep in consideration. And one thing, and the best way to lubricate this is when the spring, you will have to jack this spring up separate from the control arm in order to get a gap under there. Now there's an aluminum plate that goes under here. You could remove that plate. I've done it. We're just sticking a 2x4 right here. See if I can get it better. Like right here, and then you jack it, relieving the spring. Of course, this is with the car up on jack stands. Put a piece like a 2x4 sideways like that, and jack it up with the floor jack. Be careful not to lift the car off the jack stand. Just lift it up enough to get under there, and put whatever your favorite lubricant. I prefer a good synthetic grease. It might be difficult to get the spring up high enough to do that. If not, just get like a cable, get something like a cable and chain lube or a lithium grease, and just spray it under there. The reason I say cable and chain grease is because that resists water. I mean, this will be exposed to water and stuff if it drive in the rain. I know no one ever drives a Corvette in the rain, but it does happen. And you do wash the car, or if you're one of these people who like to keep your suspension nice and pretty, that will a waterproof type grease is the best way to go. So something you should always do whenever you lubricate your front suspension is have that lubricated. If you don't lubricate you do your own maintenance, mention it to the mechanic that these spring pads need to be lubricated. I would not be surprised if most mechanics don't know to lubricate it. I mean, like I said, you look in the factory service manual, it just says to lubricate the ball joints. It's only when you go to the servicing the front suspension section that it tells you to lubricate this pad. And I most guarantee you that nobody lubricates that pad. That is what you need to lubricate on your C4. That is the most forgotten and overlooked lubrication point on a C4 Corvette. So, Hope this video was helpful. I'm going to usually post my videos every Saturday. I'm going to post this today or midweek, or as soon as I get it, edit it and upload it to YouTube and get it out there so everybody can enjoy it during this winter storm that's going on all week. So, like I said, hit the subscribe button, share, like. Just check back on my channel once in a while, see what's going on. I try and release a video every Saturday. Also, always check my description box and comment section, because I sometimes forget stuff and I'll add it in either in the description box or the comment section. So always check that whenever you watch my videos. Yep, my hands are all dirty again. But everybody have a good day and God bless.